Hello and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. So let's take a look at how the teams are likely to line up. Wigan, as we know, play with three centre-backs. They will also have four across the midfield and either two up here with someone like Jordi Gomez in there, or we've seen them play quite a lot this season with a three up front. I expect Arsenal to be unchanged from the 5-2 win at Reading on Monday night. The big call will be whether Arsene decides to go with Theo up the front or Giroud comes back in. Personally, I think Walcott's going to keep his place and we're likely to see an unchanged side. So first of all, let's look at the problems which Arsenal might face defensively. This front three is likely to be compiled of Maloney on the left, Kone on the right, and someone like Baselli or Di Santo down the middle. Now what we've seen Wigan do sometimes this season is move with two up here and Maloney drop back into the midfield. This is likely to be how they line up when they are defending. But when they attack, Maloney is likely to move out here to the left, Kone to the right, and with a target man through the middle. So where are Arsenal likely to struggle against Wigan? Well, I think Kone is the big danger. With Gibbs getting forward here and successfully, likely, with Podolski, Kone is going to have a lot of freedom down here on the break. And it's that which can get in behind the back four. Then we'll have players chasing back. Wigan will get players into the box and anything can happen. Kone is the real big danger in the Wigan team. I've been very impressed with him. He's gone a bit quiet now, but I do think his pace and his determination could really hurt us. Another area we could potentially struggle is with Maloney. Now, as I said, he may start in there in the middle. Now, we've seen at times Arteta struggle this season, and that's when he's had an attacking midfielder on him. He played very well against Reading, but they had just their two central midfielders and a simple 4-4-2, which meant no one was marking Arteta. Now, if he doesn't get that freedom, he's going to be under pressure the whole game. That's when we could see Arteta struggle and start to give the ball away a bit. So, in a way, we need to hope Maloney's out here, but I think he'll start in here. He'll keep Arteta occupied all game, and then on the break, he'll look to go out to the left, and I think he's going to be a bit of a nuisance for us. Now, if I was Roberto Martinez and I was looking at the game, I think I'd go for the 3-5-2. I'd choose this because when Arsenal struggled against Reading and Bradford in their last couple of games was when the two centre-backs were marked out the game. They had to follow their strikers, and therefore it just created havoc at the back. Arsenal didn't really know what to do. So against Reading here, when Gibbs was on the left and he gave that ball away into the midfield, the midfielder then ran through the middle. There was Pogrebniak making a run, Lafondra making a run. The centre-backs had to follow. In the end, it was all a mess. 3 against 2, midfielders out the game, and they scored 2 goals through that, and very quickly, almost, were back in the game after we were 4-0 up. Against Bradford, we saw a very simple 4-4-2, but still they had 2 strikers on the centre-backs, Wells and the other target man, who were causing all sorts of problems for Mertesacker and Vermaelen. I also think if you want to stop Arsenal, you've got to stop their midfield right at the base of it, and if Maloney can stop Arteta, it can cause real problems for Arsenal if they try and get the ball onto the attack fast. So that's how I expect Wigan and Arsenal to line up. An area we're going to have to be careful. Biggest area is probably on the break. As you see, Arsenal play with this high line, trying to play offside. Problem with the high line when you're playing against quick players like Kone, he's going to be on the edge of this line all the time, and if they can get the ball to him and keep him onside, then that's potential danger and a potential goal there. So I want to look at how Arsenal attack, and against Reading on Monday night we saw some brilliant successful moves, mainly down the left hand side. So even though this is how we'll line up at the start of the game, this is how Arsenal transform when the game gets into flow. So Gibbs and Sagna are right up on the halfway line, constantly overlapping, even down to the byline. Arteta sits in here, Wilshire's between the lines, and we see Cazorla further up the field. Now what I'd like to see is the same as Tuesday night. I want to see Cazorla right up here. With Wigan's 3 centre-backs, it could be hard to get goals as they're going to look to be very defensive. And these, normally left mid and right mid, against Arsenal, realistically, they're going to be dropping right back here to form a kind of 5-3-2. So Podolski and Gibbs is the area I want to talk about. I think they need to really keep up their good partnership, combine, make inward runs, 1-2, get Gibbs in here. Once Gibbs is in here, these 3 centre-backs are going to be worried. If you look, one's got to come out to Gibbs, Podolski's going to be waiting here, and if we can get Walcott and Cazorla in the box, and have Chamberlain here coming in on the edge, that is the key area. We need to get Gibbs in behind, get him cutting back those crosses, and we can have a lot of success like we did against Reading. So thinking about that, I want to go on to look at the move of the match from the Reading game. And this was for Cazorla's hat-trick, where Wilshere got forward, found Podolski on the left, he got the ball across, and because Cazorla got into the box, Wilshere was kind of occupying this centre-back. The move was just too quick for Reading, and Cazorla had a free shot at goal to complete his hat-trick. That's where we need to make sure we trouble Wigan. We need to get Cazorla right up into the box because it really had Reading scared. I know Cazorla's very good on the ball. He loves playing in the midfield. He loves dropping back, helping the midfield out. But at the end of the day, Wilshere and Arteta are very good footballers. I'm sure they can cope against Wigan. And Cazorla needs to be pushed right up, kind of where Cesc played before he left, right up off the striker. And when we get down the left and even the right, we need to make sure he's in the box, because that's been the problem with Arsenal this year, not getting enough players in the box. I'd like to see Wilshere as well, kind of waiting on the edge of the box, because so many times we've seen balls come out and there's no one there waiting on the edge for a ball to come out. Arteta, he needs to make sure he sits back here and covers the defence. It's not the most glamorous role, but you know, he's playing for Arsenal Football Club, and that's the key thing at the end of the day. If he's picked, then he's got to play where he's picked and he's got to perform to his best, and we know he can play well in that role because we've seen him. And I think he's mostly struggled against physically strong players. I don't really see anyone in that Wigan side which is going to bully him in any way on Saturday. But you know, Maloney could, or Jordi Gomez potentially, could mark him out the game. Now I want to look a bit closer at the Arsenal midfield trio. Now, between them, Wilshere, Arteta and Cazorla, we've seen some brilliant performances, but at times they've struggled to get the balance right and use their qualities to the best of their potential. Now against Reading, I think we saw them at their best. And against West Brom, I think they were very good as well. But neither team technically good, and Reading really struggled against it. And I think Wigan will struggle as well if they can get that balance right again. So what I'm talking about is Arteta making sure he sits back, but not too far back. He needs to make sure that he's helping out the centre-backs if they're on the break, but he needs to dictate that midfield. He needs to be the Andrea Pirlo type player. Cazorla, as I said, needs to get right up with Walcott in here. I just want him to sit back and be a little supporting striker. Needs to get behind these 2 centre mids. That's the key. So he's between the defence and the midfield. Once you get Cazorla between the defence and the midfield, the other team haven't got a lot of a chance when he starts shooting or he starts feeding Walcott in there. And that needs to be his sole role today. He needs to not worry about tackling, but just attacking and finding the wingers, finding Walcott. And the person who needs to be worried about the midfield is Wilshere. And yeah, it looks like there's going to be a lot of men on him here. Arteta will come up with him. But two players, Wilshire's got the ability to play against two players the whole game. He needs to play like the runner in our midfield that Gary Neville was talking about. He needs to get in between the lines, pick the ball up anywhere. Don't be surprised to see Chamberlain coming in off the right, coming into the middle, helping Walcott, Cazorla and Wilshere out. But helping Wilshere out mainly to get past these two, because that's Wigan space in the midfield. But once we're past here and we get Cazorla into these positions, and you even get Wilshere pushing up here, you've got the wingers making runs down there, you've got Walcott making runs through here, and suddenly we're outnumbering them and we've got a real chance to score. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and also please comment so I know what to improve on or what you might like to see in the next video. And for those of you that don't know, you can follow me on Twitter at Ollie Price Bates, OLI.